Hey everybody, this is Josh Olive with Haven Comics. We're here tonight with this week's episode of Shop Talk, like we do, because it's Thursday. Also, for anybody who hasn't seen it, Queen Elizabeth II died today at the age of 96. God save the Queen. The NFL starts tonight, so go Buffalo Bills. And with that, we're going to kick this show off with a nice intro. And just like that, we're back. It's all cool. It's all wonderful. And speaking of cool and wonderful, let's go ahead and bring on the one, the only Mr. Alan Breedlove. What's happening, man?
Well, since we literally started off on the bad news of Queen Elizabeth, let's just keep the bad news rolling. Today marks the 6-year anniversary that I have not been able to find my Hudson Hawk DVD.
That's unfortunate.
Moment of silence. I personally believe that someone broke into our house and only stole my Hudson Hawk DVD.
Now, that would be somebody with very specific taste. Because Hudson Hawk is not exactly one of those that people are breaking down the door to get to normally.
Though that thief had outstanding, amazing taste, because that is a great movie.
That is it's an underrated movie. It absolutely is. I've always enjoyed Hudson Hawk. And that just thinking about that makes me sad with what's going on with Bruce Willis.
Yeah, but back to the Queen Elizabeth thing, we were kind of talking about it at work earlier. I know, it's not our thing, it's their thing over there, but if you think about it, it's really sad because for all of us, that's the only queen that we've ever known.
Yeah.
In a roundabout way.
Well, so she's the longest reigning monarch in English history, if I recall correctly.
Actually, I think hers was 70 years, and there was, because I read it today, I think there was one other that was actually 72 years.
That's a long, long time, because there are quite a few kings and such that are just a few days. And then, of course, there was Queen Jane, which was 9 days.
Yep.
9 days. Yeah, in this day and age, too. Personally, I think she would have abdicated a long time ago, except that she doesn't think that Charles is a very good role model or a good king prospect.
But that brings up the next question: will he abdicate and give it to William? Because everybody
he's been waiting on this so long. There's no way.
You don't think he will?
No, I think right now he's doing a little dance, like, "Ha ha! I'm finally the king."
Oh, I didn't realize until today, but he's like 74. So
72, 73. Yeah, he's up there.
Yeah, he's up there too.
So, he's not going to be king for 70 years. I'll tell you that.
No,
not unless we have some significant improvements in technology, or if he's a mutant. He might be a mutant.
No, he's Oh no, he might be, because he definitely aged well. He looks better now than he ever looked when he was a young man.
Well, yeah. Well, he didn't wait the whole time because he wasn't around for the early part of it, but he's pretty close.
Yeah, pretty close.
Yeah, pretty close. I would say Queen Elizabeth, she was a pretty amazing lady. She was driving a truck in World War II, like supply trucks and stuff. She was all over. She did all kind of things. One heck of a lady. Hey, Tots, I got beef with you, man. Where were you? You normally have the first comment in here, and where were you? Do you have the first comment tonight? No, you. Disappointed. And also, that's entirely possible, Tom. Maybe that's what he does. I don't know.
Well, we were talking about it at work, and so Parliament pretty much runs everything over there.
Yeah, the PM and Parliament, yeah.
Yeah, so, they definitely have the longevity mutant gene in their family. My family does too, and I hope it got passed on to me. But what do they actually do?
Mostly, what do they actually do? They're figureheads, really. I thought he said here boldness, and then I realized he said baldness, which was
I
not
know.
cool. He's sitting here representing Two Brothers Comics with that awesome shirt.
I mean, I'm up in here representing the 9.2 crew, and he comes out like that. But look, it doesn't matter how hard you come for me, you are still scared to sumo wrestle Josh.
In all fairness, he's in really good company there. That's most people.
You know what? I'm scared too, but I do it for charity. Hey, that's what we should actually do. We should actually do the one chip challenge and then sumo wrestle for charity. And the first person that gets thrown out is the loser unless they have to break to get something to drink.
Interesting.
Look, so let me go on this rant right quick. Now I'm about to make a lot of people mad. I absolutely despise the beach. I do not like the beach. It is the most boring vacation in the world. You go, you sit. The water comes in, it goes out. It comes in, it goes out. It comes in, it goes out. And then you get up and you go find something else to do.
And that's while you cook in your own grease. You sit out there in the sun cooking yourself to death. It smells not great. Yeah. Daniel, you are 100% on target with that. It's a lot. There are also some weird things that the reigning monarch has to preside over. There are some taxes that have been on the books since the 1300s or 1200s, where the city of London has to pay the monarch with like a hammer and 6 nails and something else and some ridiculously weird stuff. And they don't even know anymore what that's supposed to be for. But it's a big ceremonial thing they do every year now.
Yeah, and I had seen something that as far as the monarchy's real estate holdings alone are worth in the trillions.
Oh, they're vast.
I mean, I just need a couple acres. I mean, I'd be happy with that.
Oh yeah, look up the weird taxes and things that they're still on the books and that they still pay them, and it's a big symbolic thing that they do now, and it's kind of a hoot. But yeah, they don't even know what they're for. They don't remember, but it's very weird. It's funny. It's a good time. It's a good time. We got other people signing up to do this one chip challenge thing. I think maybe another fundraiser for Kids to Love or something would go well. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm hoping that maybe this time around we can pull it off to where we can actually live stream it from the shop so we can all be in the same room while we're in pain.
That's a good idea too.
I think that would be a lot more fun.
That would be amusing. I would be up for that. I have a question for you. The royal family makes a ton of money from farming. Well, it makes sense that with all the land they've got that they rent some of it out. Fascinating. So my big question for you, Alan, because I know that you were a little bit ticked at Chip Zdarsky for leaving you like that at the end of Batman 126.
Mm-hmm.
Have you read 127?
No. So I am a Friday shopper. I will be picking up 127 tomorrow, and then I will definitely be reading it tomorrow night. I don't know why. I just enjoy going on Fridays for some reason.
Well, back in the day, Friday used to be New Comic Book Day.
Yeah.
And then it eventually became Thursday, and then it eventually became Tuesday. DC swears to goodness right now that it's Tuesdays, but nobody else believes it. It's Wednesday. Kyle, what's up, man? Hope everything's going well.
But yeah, generally what I do is, so the Bug has dance class on Friday nights, and I've got time to kill, or Friday afternoons. So I'll take her to dance class, then I'll go hang out with Mr. Price for, 45 minutes to an hour, pick up books and everything, then head on back to the dance class and wait on her to finish up.
That's awesome. That way you get some good quality time hanging out. But yeah, I dig that. That's cool.
Yeah, and I mean,
got to tell you, I'm curious to see what you think about number 127.
I'll definitely be reading it. And contrary to what Jeremy Bernal says, Tom Price is not a bad person at all. Let's see what we can get started there. That's what Jeremy gets for not watching the show on a regular basis.
Well, Daniel, I get the frustration with Tom King Batman. I think Tom King did a lot of things very, very well. I know a lot of people give him grief for the whole Batcat wedding fiasco, but that wasn't him. He didn't tell DC, "Hey, let's make a big deal out of this and let's hype it up and turn it." He just wrote the story, and DC decided to make a big deal out of it. That said, he does a long, slow burn kind of a story, and I think that's good. You can do some really good things with that, but I also think you need to punctuate that more with short interstitial stories, and he did not do that very often. When he did, those little short interstitials were great. It was number 38, I think, was where it's a kid who's a millionaire kid whose parents got killed, and it's just a kid and the butler. And it was this awesome story. It was just a one shot buried in the middle of all that. The Bruce and Selena, Clark and Lois date night annual, that was fantastic. That was just awesome. He did a lot of good things, but I think he should have had a shorter arc in his head than what he had, which was 100 issues. That was a lot.
And see, my thing is, and this is where I differ with everybody. I absolutely loved Tom King's run. Tom King, to me, just writes the Bat and the Cat so drastically different than everybody else. I thought he had a fantastic run. I loved everything he did, and honestly, I don't think that anybody's come close to his City of Bane story arc.
That was a pretty intense story.
I mean, that was like really good stuff, and the way they tied it all together. And then, I mean, I know people that were mad because, okay, spoiler alert for those that hadn't read that line that came out several years ago, the Bat and the Cat didn't get married. I know people that were mad about that because they felt like they had wasted their time and their money leading up to that moment. But the way that he brought it back around with the, did we meet in the street? Did we meet on a boat? No, we met on the beach. And then they handled their business, and then it was, we'll meet back here in 1 year. You wrap up what you got to wrap up. I'll wrap up what I got to wrap up. We'll see where we are in a year. I just thought that was brilliant. I mean, I like I said, I'm one of the few people that probably actually really enjoyed his entire run. And I would love to have him back on there. But with what Chip Zdarsky's done in literally 2 issues, 3 coming out yesterday.
I say, wait until you read number 3 now. Wait till you read 127.
See, look, Tom Price going to have to run to open the shop when we get done tonight. But, I mean, what Zdarsky, like I said, the 2 issues that Zdarsky did on Batman, I think is infinitely better than everything that Tynan did on Batman. I'm not a huge Tynan fan. I like some of his stuff. I just don't think Batman was really his niche.
I thought Tynan started it with number 85, 86, whichever it was, 86. I think he started with an interesting idea, which really featured what we've all said all along, that Gotham itself should be a character in the book. And he went that way, but he very quickly got away from it because I think he realized that's a lot of work to incorporate the city that way in the book. But he started down that path, and I was really excited about it. He just didn't go terribly far.
The thing
there
about,
you go.
Oh, you're preaching to the choir on that one. I mean, I made this comment a couple of weeks ago. Everything that Zdarsky did with the first 2 issues of Daredevil, 2 issues has blown everything that they've done with Spider-Man away for the past 5 years. I mean, you take 5 years worth of Spider-Man comics, and somebody even said the past decade of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And stack it up against 2 issues of Zdarsky's Daredevil, there's no comparison.
Yeah, I think Nick Ellis would probably agree with you on that. But hey, all right, guys, we got a treat for you all tonight. We're going to go ahead and get to it. This past weekend, as everybody knows, I'm sure, was Dragoncon. And Dragoncon is a monster of a beast. It happens in Atlanta every year during Labor Day weekend. And for many of us who couldn't go, we had our Dragon Constellation event at the store. But we do send an Intrepid reporter every year. And this year we're going to get our our story live from a first-hand source about Dragoncon. And so, we introduce you to the one, the only HR.
Ta-da! It's me. It's the same person you always see on the Tuesday videos.
Well, how are you, Kalisa?
I'm doing good. As you so nicely put it, I just came back from Dragoncon last weekend, so it's nice to be in a house with no other people.
Yeah, you have a whole house to yourself now.
Yeah,
Instead of a room full of 8 people.
Yeah, just 5.
Just 5.
Just 5, yeah. Some people are like, oh, I sleep in the bathtub. It's like, no, I'm not playing that game.
I mean, when you're 22 or something, I guess.
Yeah.
But when you get past that, that becomes a little like, I don't know. I'm gonna sleep on a bed. I'm not sleeping on the floor. I'm sleeping on a bed. Okay, what?
So how was the crowds at DragonCon? How was the crowds at DragonCon this year? Was there a lot?
Let's see. Peak DragonCon, like official reported crowds, like 2019, 2018 are like 85,000. And that's recorded. That's to keep the fire marshal happy. 2021, I think they capped it at 60,000. And that was spacious, easy breezy. You could stick your hands out and run through the hallway hotels and you wouldn't hit anybody. But it still had like the same party atmosphere, the same busy, good feeling. Yeah, exactly. This year they bumped.
100% hear that.
Yeah, this year they bumped attendance up a little, so it still had the same feel. I mean, Saturdays are still, an anchovy tin of people. So it was crowded. On Friday and Sunday were nice, though.
See, Josh and I were talking earlier. I just despise Atlanta, like a deep-seated hatred for Atlanta. I just don't even know if DragonCon's enough to get me over there. If the Cardinals are playing the Braves, I'll go then. But then I'll go straight to the hotel, sit until the game, and then come straight back.
It's really funny because I helped vend at Anime Weekend Atlanta last Halloween weekend, which is a great weekend to have a convention, honestly, because people bring like Halloween variations of their costumes. And like the trick-or-treating is built in. But it was during the championship with the Braves. So as you were leaving the convention halls, all the vendors were going home for the day. We were at the point where you get onto the bridge to go to the baseball stadium. So there's just this flood of Braves fans with their little pearl necklaces and everything. That was pretty spectacular.
Yep.
It's funny because it's like, what's this cosplay?
Yeah, because that's the only time the Braves fans show up is when they're in the playoffs.
Oh.
Yeah.
Throwing shade over here.
I've been a baseball fan my entire life, so.
What's your team?
St. Louis Cardinals. Yeah, we've already been to one series. Jury's still out. Yeah, we've already been to one series in St. Louis this year, and I think we're headed back probably the 30th. So, because that'll be the final weekend that Pujols, Molina, and Wainwright play together in St. Louis because they're retiring.
I'm nodding.
Yeah, probably. I'm going to say the 30th, that Friday night. Y'all can call each other and say, hey, he's probably crying right now because I'll be in tears. I mean, that's like, it's an end of an era.
By birthright, I am a Pittsburgh Pirates fan because that was my grandfather's team.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I don't live anywhere near there. I think my mom still has in the cedar chest a little, the tiny baby-sized Pirates hat that my grandfather bought me. But yeah, Atlanta is wild. The nice thing about Dragoncon is once you're there, you don't leave. Like going 2 blocks beyond the perimeter of the host hotels is just why you don't bother unless you're walking to the aquarium for the Dragoncon night at the aquarium, which is really cool because it's an exclusive ticketed event just for Dragoncon attendees. And it's really nice because you can wander all the way through the aquarium and people dress up. Like that is where Aquaman goes to have his moment.
with the belugas, I guess. He's like, hi!
Well, there's a lot of just cool places where you can stand, and if you have cameramen who know how to do the right lighting, you look amazing. And there's Ursula's, and there's from BioShock, there's Big Brothers and Big Sisters and stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So what are some of your favorite things about Dragoncon? You keep going back. Why do you like it?
Well, it's funny because I always say you can ask 10 different people what Dragoncon is and to explain the convention, and you'll get 10 completely different convention descriptions out of them. For us, we do a lot of people watching. We go to the occasional panel. Nobody in my crew is really like an autograph hound. We don't really hit up the Walk of Fame except to maybe do a walkthrough and go, ooh, look at them. Ooh, look at them.
You'd have to get a crowbar and pry Justin out of there.
Oh, yeah.
Justin's a big autograph hound.
The hot reports I've been seeing is that the guest list this year was lackluster, but I think it's just a lot of like productions are revving back up and people are just like, I'd love to go, but my schedule, I'm contractually obligated. Sorry. So it's probably just hard to fight that.
See, you said guest list. I think of the comics guests, and I thought their lineup of comics guests this year was pretty strong.
Yeah. You got to see Bendis taking his huge line of people to get signing. A friend stood in line for Jim Starlin, which if you're a cool Huntsville person, you already have the autographs you want.
Yeah, indeed. Got my my Iron Man 55 signed by Jim Starlin at the expo. So my first appearance of Thanos and Drax and the Blood Brothers, all signed by Jim Starlin at the expo, and that was awesome.
I assume you swept that off to CBCS?
Oh, yeah.
See, for whatever reason, Jim Starlin is like one of the few people that I ever just went full-on fangirl and didn't do anything, just stood there. It was like, it's just Jim.
You did the, wow.
You know, I couldn't do anything. I didn't get anything signed. I just stood there and stared for a couple of minutes and walked off.
Yeah, that's fun because you can go the vendor hall for Dragoncon is amazing because it takes up these buildings called America's Mart, which is just pretty much just a palace of commerce. I don't know what it does when it's not Dragoncon, but it can hold half the population of Atlanta in it. And it's, let's see, I think it's 3 floors of vendors. And that's your Chessex, that's your people selling ocarinas, your people selling, you know, the more general, your swords, your soaps, your things like that. And then they have the, I want to say it's called the Comic and Pop Culture Alley, which is the top floor. And that's where you can just walk by and be like, hey, that's Frank Cho. Nice. I got to tell Chris Schweitzer, good job, and to keep making things. And he got to tell us about the things he's making. He's an artist and a woodworker, so he comes up with the most bizarre, fantastic ideas. Right now he's trying to make a playhouse of Santa's workshop, and it's so elaborate that it's driving him insane. Because I think it's the artist brain and the woodworker brain. Like the artist brain detailing and the woodworker brain practicality are fighting each other.
Yes, that would look great, but it doesn't make any sense together.
Yeah, but we can't actually make the wood do that, so
you just need to get some bending wood.
Yeah, I say they had a very nice.
Oh yeah, okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you could have took that and got Jim Starlin to sign it. That would have been cool to get him signed.
That's true. Can you see it? It's a George Perez tribute on it too.
Tribute, yeah.
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 George was always at Dragoncon.
He was. A lot of people were reminiscing
until he started having heart trouble. He was at Dragoncon every year.
Yeah, he is. It seems like a very rad guy.
I always loved the photo shoots they would do outside with all the people in his character costumes and stuff.
Yeah,
he'd have like 4,000 Wonder Women all around. It's like, God, what a poor man.
And him and his Hawaiian T-shirt.
Hey, it's our favorite unboxer. What's happening, Mike?
I thought, Josh, you'll get a kick out of this. This is one of the things I got. It's a soap company called Macbeth.
out, damn spot.
Yeah.
Macbeth, and that's Gandalf soap.
Yeah, on the back it says A wizard is never rank, nor is he dirty. He bathes precisely when he means to.
That's fantastic.
And then,
ooh, check that out. Got him a CGC 9.8 spawn number 1. Yeah, get that signed by McFarlane. Well, he's doing that CGC in-house signing. So you can get it there. Hey, Kyle, man, appreciate you popping by. Thanks much, buddy. And as Kyle always reminds everybody, remember to hit that like button because it does make a difference with their algorithm.
Yep.
So does it really smell like green tea and ginger? Is that what I saw on there?
It smells like Gandalf, apparently.
White tea and ginger.
White tea and ginger. So if you were to walk up to Gandalf and sniff him, would he smell like that bar of soap? Or would the
Gandalf the white, yes. Gandalf the gray, no.
Gandalf the gray smells like fallen leaves and like mid to late autumn.
Yeah, he smells like smoke and kind of sad.
With that greasy hair, I'd have to throw in some sweat too. Because Gandalf the Grey didn't look that cleanly.
Yeah, that was the joke we were making about the soap, is that's when they grab him and put him in the tub and then he becomes Gandalf the White.
Yep. So what would you think would be the biggest standout moment of Dragoncon this year for you? What was the one thing that was like, oh, heck yeah, I'm glad I came?
At the Critical Role photo shoot meetup, there were not one, but 2 proposals.
Aww.
Which was pretty cute because one of them actually was coordinated with the person running the event because they did like, they're like, oh, we need to do one more group photo and got everybody together, and the person proposing made sure that, you know, they were in front and did the whole kneel, and it was really cute. And then after everybody was done clapping for them, another guy was just like, I'm gonna make you guys hold on just for a minute, and he just went for it. So I wonder if he was just carrying the ring in his pocket the whole time, just waiting for like a good moment.
We should probably talk about that, Nick. You're not wrong. I gotta say, so far,
was it worth $1 billion?
If you're just gonna look at it, yes, it's beautiful. I do have a weird thing, like all the elves with their short butch business haircuts. Like I work at a bank, Elrond. I have a real problem with that. It's like, that's weird. And also their decision to make the elves completely emotionally stunted and robotic. I also disagree with that. That's bizarre. Unless they make them the opposite, which is totally out of control, like, driven, which is they've done with Galadriel. Also, just the weird stuff. Like they have so much lore to choose from, and there's so many things that they could use. And instead they take it and go, let's see, what's something that's not in there? Let's do that. Let's make Galadriel the leader of the Northern Army, or the commander of the Northern Army. I'm sorry, what? What is that? What is that? She was never. We know where she was in the Second Age, and it wasn't that. Like,
you don't have to make that part up.
Need to change that. Craziness, but it is beautiful. If I could divorce myself from knowing and caring about the books and even the Peter Jackson movies, which took some pretty broad liberties in places, but were very true to the heart of the Lord of the Rings. If I could divorce myself from that, I think I'll enjoy this. But I'm having a real hard time because I really love those things. And all I see are the weird discrepancies that exist for no reason. Nick, now that I have seen it, I understand.
You know, I still haven't seen it.
I understand. It's not bad. It's just not good.
Kind of like the new episode of She-Hulk. It's not bad. It's just not good.
That's how I felt about the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy movie.
I didn't have a problem with the new episode of She-Hulk.
It didn't do anything for me. It was kind of okay, ho hum.
It was a filler middle episode.
Yeah, to me the best part of it was the extra scene with Wong and the drunk chick sitting on the couch watching TV.
That was funny, and I did have to say I liked the whole deal when she broke the fourth wall and was like, "Yeah, Wong is back. Now I know you guys are going to be excited about this show." Somebody's breaking up. I think that's Alan.
Oop,
That's
we
caught
lost
on cameras then.
You're all locked up, Alan,
him.
and we.
Board got him.
Yep. You're all locked up.
See, I'm not even showing locked up on my end.
Well, you never do on your own end.
He's gone 8-bit. Oh, there was a like, I want to say 2 scale. Hang on a second. I have to make sure I'm saying the right thing. No, not that one. I'm nerd. There was a seemingly 2 scale X-wing in the parade.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was really funny because we were like, how are they moving? And there was just like 2 people pushing it because there wasn't really a sensible way to motorize it, but it looked really cool. We kind of wondered where it parked.
Yeah, I would wonder that too. I mean, that's impressive.
Yeah, it was really cool. The parade was really great this year, and there was a threat of rain all through Saturday, and it held. And then it rained on Sunday, so hopefully nobody got caught out with their extremely delicate costumes or anything.
I would hope not. That would be unpleasant.
Okay, am I still locked up?
No,
No,
you're good.
All right.
You're all good. So there's pretty much a 24-hour cycle of things happening at Dragoncon, right? I mean, there's parties that don't even start until 3 a.m. and things like that.
Yeah. Let's see. One of the concerts, I think, doesn't start till 1:30. I can actually, let's see. Yeah, the zombie prom doesn't start till 10. And then let's see. The drum circle starts at midnight.
I hope that's right next to all the guest rooms.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing? We're playing the drums.
There's 24 hours open filking.
Okay, you can't say that on this show. You're
I don't
HR.
know.
You know better.
I do as I please. You can't stop me because I am HR. Who watches the Watchers?
Well, she got me there.
And we're part of the crowd that one of our favorite events happened to be. It's called Coffee and Coloring, and it was 8:30 to 10, and they just had coloring pages, crayons, and free coffee and hot chocolate. And it was just a super nice way to start the morning and like go talk to fellow nerds. Like we just talked about, there was someone we were talking about books, and someone was like, I love fantasy, but I can't get into a lot of like sci-fi and hard sci-fi because I just don't find it approachable. So we like just spent an hour trading book recommendations.
That's fair. That's the kind of thing you think, is that an event? Is that a thing people would go to? I mean, how many people showed up?
One day it had a waiting list, or like a waiting line. So it's packed because it's one of the few things to do at that time.
I guess that's fair.
But like, and of course there's all the like, there's the different tracks. There's the like the Star Wars track and the Star Trek track and all of that.
And just the plain science. Space track. That's like legit science people.
Yeah. There are a lot of people who were real antsy about Artemis on Saturday.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. We were primed to watch the Artemis liftoff at the shop, and we were all getting ready to go. Ryan, our intern, had made a reminder on his phone. He's like, reminder to turn the channel on the TV at 2:00 because we want to watch this. And then when it got scrubbed, he was like, turn off reminders.
Aww.
He was very disappointed. It was sad.
They still haven't launched that thing yet, have they?
No.
Well, so what's the holdup now?
Some issue with the gantry and where it attaches and the fuel. They're having a hard time getting. I don't know what's going on with it. There's a seal issue and getting fuel into it and all this stuff where it hooks up at the gantry. So, like they never had a problem with it until they went to try to launch it. And before that, all their test runs, it went just fine. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, why isn't this working?
Oh, hey, Nick, when you finish reading all the Fantastic Four, Josh and I want exclusive interview rights before you talk about it anywhere else.
Ooh.
Even his own show?
Mm-hmm. Either that or we'll just get Justin to spoil it all for everybody.
That's just mean. That's just mean.
But the space track did have solar telescopes throughout the day, which is neat
that's
because when I think of telescopes, I think of, like even the ones it's like, oh, my friend has a telescope, and you think they're like 6 feet tall bodies and everything. These are like not big because it's the sun. You don't need a huge telescope. You're not looking at the distance of like, even if you're looking at a greater distance to something, it's the sun. It's big. And then they taught me about how essentially the filters that you put on the telescope matters so that you can actually look at the sun. And then even when you're looking, it's like, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Oh, hey, it's the sun. Neat. Don't do it, don't do it. Because you're just, you're so taught not to look straight at the sun.
All right, Nick, what you doing next Thursday, pal? Let's come on and talk some Spider-Man.
We can talk some Spider-Man.
Let's do it.
And we can talk about the highly anticipated Gold Goblin.
Oh, yeah, the Gold Goblin limited series. That's going to be amazing.
Greatest thing that happened to Spider-Man in the past 50 years.
Are you being sarcastic or not? I have no idea.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's let's see. The Gold Goblin is Norman Osborn is back somehow, some way, again.
As one does.
And he's trying to turn a new leaf, and he's trying to get past his whole Green Goblin ways.
Is he marrying Aunt May?
He's no, that Dr. Octopus did that. So he's trying to be. He's like gonna give a try at being a superhero and helping people out. Well, he decides he feels pretty good about that. So he changes his costume to where he looks like he got, like somebody grabbed the end of his little glider with him on it and just dipped it into liquid gold and pulled it back out. He's just gold from head to toe. And he runs around and now he's helping people. But the media keeps referring to him and calling him the Gold Goblin. And why can't he get away from this whole goblin thing? And it's driving me insane. And will he be able to stay good with the goblin? I'm like, well, you can't get away from the goblin thing because you're still dressed like a freaking goblin, you idiot.
Yeah, you got to switch costumes, my dude.
Dressed like a football player. They won't call you that anymore.
They'll call you the Heisman.
You idiot. What a buffoon. So frustrating. There you go.
That looks amazing. I mean, you can't... Nick, I know you're looking forward to this.
It looks like there's a weird lack of detail.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but he's still on his same little glider.
See what that one. I mean, that's a little better. I mean, it's
okay.
You basically just rounded off Dr. Fate's helmet. That's all
it's an extremely generic Soup's costume, I guess. But yeah, that's like just change a little more.
Yeah, get away from the whole thing, and you'll be okay.
He's got money, right?
Out the yin yang.
A little bit.
Get PR. That would be kind of funny, actually, watching a PR firm be like, "Yeah, don't worry, we can rehab your so-called villain status," and like that'd be funny to have Spider-Man swinging past a billboard for this new hero and be like,
I'm just gonna say this right now, Kalisa, why aren't you writing Spider-Man?
They should call me.
I would read the heck out of that book.
I sit by my phone and Mr. Marvel, John Marvel never calls me.
I would watch the heck out of that. I would read the heck out of that. That's a fun book.
Well, that's what comic is that where it's the people have to clean up after superheroes. I mean,
this is that's literal physical cleanup of, hey, they just damaged this road and this building. But yeah, rehabbing a career criminal's image because he's gone straight. And,
have people really not done that?
No, not that I'm aware of. I can't think of any comic where they've done that. I would read the heck out of that. That's fun.
Somebody should get on that. That could be my
a great idea.
24-hour comic. Except I can't draw, so it'll just be squares with words in them.
This panel is there's nothing in it. It's just a panel. I worked really hard to get those.
I'll just keep
right.
sliding my sheets in between Jeremy and Tom's and being like, "Whoops, how did that get in there? Illustrate it for me, please."
Mm-hmm.
That's a great idea. But no, that's a fun story. I totally dig that.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing that should be going on in a lot of these comics.
I have a very intense Spider-Man question. So,
Nick, pay attention.
The Green Goblin's son.
No, Harry. Yeah.
Is he the one with the weird hair? with the
Well, yeah, they both have weird hair. He gets that from his dad.
So, like in the original comics, they were trying to do like a tight curl, right? Was that the thing?
Yeah, it was tight curly hair.
I love that there has not been like they've kept that through all because we were watching the 90s cartoon at the shop week before last, and they still have this like they're just like, nah, just that's the design. We're not going to attempt to fix it in any way. Like it's so weird. I kind of just love it.
It's strange looking for sure.
Yeah, so I was just gonna ask why.
Honestly, they're at the point where if they tried to change anything about his hair, it just wouldn't be Harry or Norman Osborn anymore. I mean, nothing would be normal about it.
Oh, it's kind of iconic.
Because in the Renew Your Vows storyline, not the miniseries, but when they went to the ongoing series, what was the kid's name? He was you had Norman, Harry, and then Norman. Was it Normie Jr.?
Normie, yeah.
Yeah, he had the exact same hair.
Normie
he's like
Jr.?
19 years old. Had the exact same hair.
Yeah,
okay.
and
I was just curious.
Yep.
And what was it? Spider-Man 800. Norm Osborn got a hold of that little bit of carnage that he was able to integrate with and turn himself into the Red Goblin. But he infected little Normie with it. He turned his 4-year-old little grandson into an evil person, the evil little villain kid.
A 4-year-old combined with carnage sounds like
awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really bad.
That had the potential to be great also, and they dropped the ball on that one too. I mean, you give a 4-year-old Carnage Cenobite to somebody like, I don't know, Tynan or one of those guys, it's going to get dark, and it's going to get dark quick. Or, what's his name? Did God Country? I can't think of his name.
Crap.
Dustin Ellis's favorite writer of all time.
Right. Donnie Cates.
Yeah, give him a murderous 4-year-old, and he's going to turn it into something great. The ending will be awful, but he'll turn it into something great before he gets there.
That's true.
Awful, like badly written, or awful, like woof, that was a brutal ending.
No, badly written. He doesn't know how to end stories.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like he'll write a great story right up until the last act, and then he's like, I don't know what to do now.
Alan, what would be your favorite Spider-Verse villain, and who would you want to handle the story?
I honestly,
they haven't already written it.
I would really and truly like to see what Tom Taylor would do with Kraven the Hunter.
Ooh.
Or I would really like to see how dark Chip Zdarsky could take Sin Eater. I would have to say those would probably be my top two. Tom Taylor for Kraven the Hunter and Chip Zdarsky for Sin Eater.
Josh, do you have spider opinions?
Those are both so good. I'm really on board with both of those. I mean, just you saying it, I'm automatically picturing what this could be, and I would be so on board with that. If I were pick a spider villain, and who would I have write it? Boy, that's a good question.
I know you really like the classic Kraven the Hunter storyline.
Oh, for sure. But I was trying to picture, I think somebody like Tom King doing Mysterio would be really interesting. Yeah. Because he gets into the psychology of the characters and things like that. And I think Mysterio you could do a lot with. I think that would be really interesting. I would like to see something like that.
Cool.
Look at her asking the insightful questions.
I
this
know
is cool.
She done come out the gate hard on us, and I'm hey, yet another one. I enjoyed that.
Got any more of these? We need to file that one away to ask future guests because that was a good question.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice because the Spider-Verse is such a good mix and match because there's been so many different spider folk, but then the villains are kind everybody kind of has their own villains, but they're kind of sort of always shifting through losing my nerd cred, the one I'm most familiar with is like Into the Spider-Verse movie. And it's like Miles Morales still has to deal with the Kingpin. And it's like, Peter Parker's, but they always, the interpretations are really neat and the mix and match seems to work really well in the Spider-Verse.
So you're bringing that up, and how some villains kind of always are in, attached to certain heroes, and certain heroes have their rogues gallery and everything. There's occasionally a villain where you go, how did that guy become a villain that's associated with this Stilt Man? How is Stilt Man a freaking Daredevil villain? That makes no sense.
Okay, one word, 2 words. The Gibbon.
Yeah.
And then they turn around and brought him back?
After all those centuries, or decades, they brought the Gibbon back.
The thing about Spider-Man is that's one of those comics that's been going for so long. It's had its ups and downs. We're definitely on the downs right now. But even with the bad storylines, you can still pick out some really good characters. There's still stuff there that they could salvage out of it if they just wrote it the right way, or just, I got an idea, bring in a good writer and kick the editors to the curb for a couple of years. And let the writers take over. Let them do that. Bring in a Zdarsky. Bring in, Tom King, like you said. Bring in some of those guys and just get out of their way. But that's not going to happen because, they got to make money.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the things, like, as someone who doesn't really, like, follow, like, the big comics that are like, oh, it's a legacy comic. It's like, I wish that they would just be like, and I know that they do this and stuff, but it's like Superman comic, this author, these illustrators, it is canon compliant, like it is Superman, but it's not worrying about the entire canon of Superman. It doesn't have to carry everything. It can just be someone being like, hey, what if this is cool? Like Superman has to help Santa.
You've got somebody there who has opinions.
Your cat thinks all of your ideas suck.
Well, no, he's just mad that they're not about him.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to hear nothing but Black Panther ideas.
Oh, we're talking about authors, and that just kind of hit me.
Yeah.
Peter Straub passed away this past week. Peter Straub, one of the...
Peter Straub.
Yeah, I mean, amazing horror author, but the Blue Rose trilogy... 3 amazing books. And that was kind of talking about authors, that just kind of hit me. I remember we've lost a lot this week.
This whole year
has
been a lot more than normal, it feels like.
All right, so off with the depressing. So actually Tom Price has got one here, and then I read that in the new issue of Punisher, he kind of went somewhere and nobody thought he was going to go. He's doing something that nobody thought he was going to do.
He joined a monastery?
No, it was. Does the new issue of Punisher come out this week or was it last week?
I haven't been reading Punisher, honestly. I don't know.
Well, it's something about.
I don't remember it from this week's.
Like the Hand is bringing his family back to life or something, and they keep messing up the kids, and
yikes, that's awful.
Blue. I mean, I don't know. It's really bizarre what they've done with Punisher, like to the point where I don't even care. I don't even want to pick it up to see how bad it is.
It's not Punisher anymore.
Every once in a while, I'll pick something up just so I can read it and then trash it so I'll know what everybody else is talking about. But this sounds so bad, I have no desire to even pick it up now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Damn,
I know, but it's like...
My tastes are all over the place anyway.
Yeah. I always want to hear people being like, oh man, did you hear the news about the Punisher? And me be like, what? And they're like, it's awesome, rather than like,
Totally understand.
It's good to enjoy things.
just so you know, because I know this will be meaningful to you, Alan. Sacrament #2 comes out next week.
Did you read #1?
I still haven't. It's still sitting in my pile. It's right on top, but I haven't gotten to it.
It's really cool because when you're reading it, you're going to be like, well, I feel like I've read this story before because of all the horror movies that we grew up with in the 70s and 80s. It's got the feel of some of those, demonic possession type movies, but at the same time, it's a fresh story. It's a different spin. It's a new spin on an old story. How about that?
I like that.
It's really cool the way that they pulled it off.
That's cool.
So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to second issue.
There seems to be a real renaissance of horror in comics as a genre.
Very much so, yeah. Cullen Bunn writes like 87% of it.
As I say, Cullen Bunn, what's the say? The devil works hard, but Cullen Bunn works harder.
Yeah, that's probably true. Did you guys, have y'all picked up and did you flip through the new comic shop story that Cullen Bunn did? He's got a story set in a haunted comic shop.
Oh.
It came out this week. That was number 1 this week.
No.
Hey, Tom, just go ahead and start him a second box. He's good for it.
He's got multiple.
I will say this. At least I've already paid for all of mine. And all the other ones.
Technically, all of the boxes are his, if you think about it.
I've paid for every comic book in that place.
Yep. Don't worry. I'll be making the light bill tomorrow.
But, yeah, for anybody who hasn't read it, the story that he was just talking about a second ago, I've got it right here.
Oh, and while he's looking for that, everybody go sign up for the last hunt so we can all trash it together.
Like a book club, but a hate club.
Yep. And honestly, I mean, yeah, we've talked about them a lot on here. AWA has put out a couple of comics that I was just kind of whatever.
A few.
But other than that, they've had some really solid books come out. Sacrament, great. Devil's Highway. I'd give anything to see Devil's Highway turned into a Netflix series or even a movie trilogy or something. Not All Robots was a fun read.
That was surprisingly fun. Yeah.
Hit Me absolutely shocked me. I had
Hit Me
no
was great.
idea Hit Me was going to be what it was about. But then once you started getting into the story, it was a really good story. And I'm hoping that Hit Me is one of those where there is no second volume. It's literally those 5 issues standalone. We're done with it.
It's complete. Yep. It doesn't need anything. Don't touch it.
Now, did you have a chance to read this yet?
I have not got to read it just yet.
You got to read this.
Ooh, signature.
Oh, yeah.
Tom knows what we're talking about. AWA's got it going on. And no, we are not paid by AWA. We are not affiliated with AWA unless they want to be.
AWA send us free T-shirts.
With a lot of X's. And I need a big...
Do not send us 5 individual extra large T-shirts.
We had that happen once.
Who did that?
Which I know what you're referring to.
Is that Wizards of the Coast?
Yeah, it was Wizards of the Coast. They wanted to know everybody's shirt size, and so I told them I wear a 5X, and they sent us 5 extra large shirts.
I mean, an attempt was made.
I was like, am I supposed to sew all these together? Yeah. I don't know how this is supposed to work.
Since we're on our independence portion of the conversation, have you read the new issue of Nottingham yet?
I have not.
They have not put out a bad issue yet. Another solid issue.
That doesn't surprise me. That's a really good book. And I will say, this doesn't mean a lot to anybody besides retailers, but through Diamond just increased the discount for retailers on Mad Cave books.
Oh.
So our Mad Cave discount is going to be, it's not like vastly better, but it's better, which improves our chances of ordering books from them.
We'll take it.
And ordering extra copies and things so that we can try stuff out.
Mad Cave makes a lot of neat ones.
Primos was a fun. Fight Girls was good too, but Primos was a good one, and we got that one in the Spanish language edition, and we sold a couple of copies of that. That was cool.
Yeah.
Telepaths was another good one. If nobody's read it, y'all really need to pick up Telepaths, because we're also kind of getting in that phase now where some of these titles that they just wrapped up, that particular volume, all the graphics are getting ready to come out. The trades are going to come out for them. So if anybody's looking for something different to read that breaks away from your normal superhero stuff, just holler at Josh and order anything by AWA.
Yeah, that is good, solid advice.
Or if you want a superhero with some issues, order Knighted.
Yeah, the first issue of Knighted was fun.
Knighted was a rough book, man. That was like,
Oh dear.
ah,
You're like, God, I feel sorry for this dude. I really want. I mean, you're pulling for him. I mean, you want to see him do good,
right.
but it's like
but
the hits just kept coming.
Speaking of things that are rough, and taking this back to Dragoncon, I saw Josh Harrison posted some pictures of him with some. There was some group where he was wearing a T-shirt that said "lamp" and he had a lampshade on his head, and there were a whole bunch of people dressed as moths who were like worshiping him, and that was funny. But he had a picture taken of him with the character from The Boys called the Deep, and the guy had a strategically placed octopus.
Oh dear.
Like in the Deep.
Oh,
that was
sorry.
unfortunate.
He just wants attentions.
They're looking around. Where is this interloper? And see, that's why he wants more stories about Black Panther. Because he is the protagonist of those stories, as far as he is concerned.
And then we got Sleepy Boy.
Yep. He got up there and made himself at home.
Yep.
So what else happening at DragonCon this year? What big stories were coming out of DragonCon? There's always some.
A pipe broke in the Hilton around like 8 p.m. on Sunday, and it flooded like 4 hotel floors.
Oh wow!
Yeah. Well, not like entirely, but yeah. So that was fun.
Did that affect you guys?
No, we are in a different hotel. Thanks.
Do you guys stay at one of the host hotels, or do you stay at one of the other ones?
We stay at one of the host hotels. Let's see. I'm trying to think. I'm a terribly boring DragonCon person. I feel like I don't go to any of the big parties and stuff. How many people dressed up as Barth Malt? None that I know, but we haven't seen any arrest records.
I do wonder if the crime rate goes up at all around DragonCon just because there's so many people.
I feel like pickpocketing and like petty stuff would go up, and then maybe all the other stuff would go down because there's just too many people to deal with.
So did anybody chuck any chairs off of upper level floors down into the lobby this year?
Yeah, no, that was really scary. Somebody really could have been killed during that.
Killed somebody, yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't think any major crisis occurred that I know of. There's a lot. Every once in a while, you see a fire truck parked in front of a hotel, and you're like, well, I hope nothing too bad's happening.
That's true.
Yeah.
Did you guys have any unexpected run-ins with celebrities that you recognized? Those are always fun at these big things.
I know we were in the elevator with some of the artist guests. Don't ask me who, because I couldn't tell you. But it's funny because the mood is always friendliest on Thursday night, and then by Sunday, anytime you see someone with a guest badge, it's just like they obviously like do not want to be spoken to. They're done. They're very tired.
Leave me alone.
Yeah.
So was Andy and Alice, or were they there this year?
We did very briefly annoy Andy at his table.
So what's going on with Mr. Andy Price? What's happening with him?
His booth is exquisite as always, and people should buy all of his original art because it's exquisite. The pages that he made for My Little Pony are beautiful, and he does awesome little pencil sketches.
Oh, they're cheap too. They're like $10.
Yeah, it's a really good little quick con gift, and then you can get his more detailed stuff. We actually have a full color commission from him as well, which is totally worth it. Let's see. Whoop. Oh, you tried to shine. It varies in hundreds of dollars because it depends on what characters are. Thank you, Kepler. What pages are, or what characters are on, and like, is it just, quick conversation panels versus like a full page spread of an action scene or something? I want to say I know that the price is running 100.
Quick timeout. Nick, what did you miss? You are going to be our guest next week to talk about Spider-Man.
And we also talked about the amazing design of the Gold Goblin.
Yeah. And how excited you are about that.
Oh, I need to share this right quick because, there's something deeply disturbing wrong with me, and I just do have this bizarre.
Did you buy a Ouija board from a yard sale?
I have not bought a Ouija board from a yard sale, but if you'll look right here,
Whoa.
Two Brothers Comics posted on Twitter, RIP to the Queen, so sad. So I liked it. But if you scroll up, the wrestler William Regal just before them posted, is it too soon to say how are they going to fit King Charles's ears on the stamps?
Yeah, I think it's too soon.
But that's just too good to ignore. That one got me. It got me.
I mean, I guess they could just make little bonus stamps on the sides. My rider includes chicken nuggets and Oreos.
You know what? We can do that. I mean, do you want the double stuffed or the thins? I'll leave them in your box this weekend.
I just thought you got Marco's Pizza.
Pizza bowl.
Speaking of people leaving things in boxes and such, I got to tell you, that was this Wednesday. I got a text message from Rusty, one of the guys who plays D&D at the shop on Wednesdays. He texted me, and he says, "Which box number is yours?" And I tell him, and he's like, "Okay, cool." And I said, "Did you bring more little Debbie's oatmeal cream pies or something?" And he's like, "Yep, I thought I'd leave you some." So he just left some of those in my box.
Oh, I did see someone cosplaying Little Debbie, and I did receive zebra cake from him.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wait, Pokemon Oreos?
They have like little, instead of the normal Oreo decoration, it's like embossed with Pokemon.
Okay. I was picturing different colors and shaped like a Pikachu or something.
That would be really cute.
I would eat it.
I mean, it's Oreos. I mean, I'm not going to turn it down no matter what they're shaped like.
Now, do you guys go in for the oddball flavors of Oreos? Like they have the carrot cake Oreos.
Carrot cake Oreos are so good. That is the one flavor I care about is the carrot cake ones.
I'm just a traditionalist when it comes to Oreos, I guess. I don't know, but I don't eat Oreos that often to begin with.
We try not to because you just eat them all in one day. Kepler.
Yeah, that's why they should come in a thing like Pringles.
Yeah.
Is how they ought to come. So you're just like, here you go. You just shake them out of the can.
So wait a minute. Okay, we've gotten off topic and I'm a little bit confused now. Do I owe Nick some Oreos for possibly coming on next Thursday? Is that how this is going to work?
I said Marco's Pizza, and he was like, "Oh yeah, Marco's Pizza, it is."
Okay, so Marco's Pizza or Oreos, Nick? He just said we'll let you figure it out.
Well, how do you know if 4th of July Pop Rock Oreos are the best? That's a scary thought. Pop Rock Oreos, I don't know, but I suppose you just pop those in your mouth with a shot of Coca-Cola or something and see if your mouth explodes.
How would they keep the pop of them?
That is a good question. I don't know if science has answered that. Do we have the technology for that? I don't know. Don't know.
And I have my counter to this is there are fairy Pokemon that are literally like different flavors of cream is what they look like. So there are options for Pokemon desserts.
So what does Pikachu taste like?
Well, he's an electric
Pikachu
mouse.
Tastes like one of those banana flavored moon pies.
Oh, that's absolutely disgusting. I don't like banana flavored anything. Okay,
Thank you. It's bad.
Do what?
Artificial flavored banana is awful.
Oh, banana period is awful.
Oh, you don't even like a real banana?
Oh, God, no.
Fair.
No. Nothing. It wouldn't have nothing to do with it.
Artificial banana flavoring is based off of the Cavendish, I believe, which is actually an extinct breed of banana because it got wiped out because all bananas are clones of themselves. So that's why it's so dangerous to have disease in banana plants.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to go down the same track we went a few weeks ago with vanilla flavor or vanilla extract and beavers.
Nobody uses that. It's too expensive.
But it's so delicious.
Apparently.
It's
good stuff. What can you say? Banana looks too much like a vegetable for now.
I don't know what it is. Bananas and coconut. I want to have absolutely nothing to do with them, period, ever. No.
Can I ask, was that ever a flavor of medicine you were given?
Nope. And with me, the coconut, it's not necessarily the flavor. I don't even know if it's the consistency. I don't know what it is about coconut, and bananas the same way. I just don't like it. And here's another one good. Same thing when it comes to tomatoes. I don't know what it is. I just don't like it.
I love spaghetti sauce and barbecue sauce, and I love ketchup. Those are gifts from God. A raw tomato, has all the things I don't want. It has skin, It has pulp, it's slimy, and then it has seeds. It's horrendous. Raw tomato, the texture of a raw tomato is wrong 5 different ways, and I can't do it.
I will give an heirloom tomato a shot, but the normal like beefsteak ones are just, no, those are garbage. Those are good for pasta sauces.
I look at like the little cherry tomatoes and I'm tempted. I'm like, I kind of want to try that, but I just think it's going to be nasty. And
you need to put them on a sheet pan, roll them in olive oil, and then roast them, and then just throw them in something, and then they're good.
Let's see. Tots is trying to get to the deep-rooted psychology here.
This is your villain origin.
Yeah, and they said when I was a baby that I would literally sit in front of the refrigerator and just eat pickles out of the jar one after another. I cannot stand pickles now. Maybe I ate too many bananas as a kid and that traumatized me and I just blocked that memory. I don't know, but yeah, there's just certain things that I just can't do it. Sorry.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, I'll eat cauliflower and broccoli and zucchini all day long. Cauliflower, I had cauliflower for lunch today. But yeah, no, tomato, forget that.
So while we're talking about food for some reason, Tots, you're going to be at Whistle Stop this weekend, right? What's your secret ingredient that we won't share with anybody? What's your secret ingredient that makes your barbecue awesome?
He blows kisses of love onto it.
Oh, is Tots doing like competitive barbecue?
He is.
Nice. Good luck.
I want to do Whistle Stop one weekend. I want to go compete in the Shade Tree division, but then when it like comes time to register for it, I think, oh, that just sounds too much like work. I would rather just like cook at the house. I have no issues slaving all day long at the house over the grill, 8-10 hours. I love it. I enjoy it. But actually go somewhere and do it, it's too much work.
I imagine packing all the stuff would be pretty arduous.
Yep.
Now, that brings us to another question, though. We were talking about doing a 24-hour thing at Haven, possibly for, say, 24-hour comic book day or something. And you were going to bring the grill up and do some fancy cooking. Are you still planning on doing that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we can do that one because we had talked about doing it when the two bros had talked about like 24 hours at a comic book store.
Yep.
And, you know, that I don't know whatever happened to that, Nick.
Nick.
I mean, yeah, Nick. But yeah, see, something like that would be fun because, I mean, what are we going to do? We're going to hang out all day long, and it's not like I'm just going to throw like a Boston Bud on it and smoke it for 8 hours. I'm going to be throwing some Kaneka sausage on there. We're going to be eating all day long. By the time we actually get to dinner, we may end up having to donate dinner to somebody else because we're too stuffed to eat.
Guys, I'm liking how this is shaping up. I'm just going to tell y'all right now.
Yeah, I mean, we can show up, Tots. If you want to do that, we can show up. We can get the girls fired up in the parking lot at Haven at 5:00 in the morning and just go.
Dueling grills. I'm digging it.
Have you ever smoked bologna?
Never smoked bologna.
I've seen pictures of it, and I just think it looks neat. I'm not like excited to try it, but they take it and then they like score it and kind of dice it so the smoke can get in. So when it's done, it's like blackened on the outside. It looks like a weird like ore that has emerged from the planet.
You said smoking bologna, and all I could picture was Carly singing, and then I got high.
So, Tots, if you have not done it yet, smoke you some Kaneka sausage and then cut it up and put it in red beans and rice. Oh, my God. It's so good.
Yes, please.
If you're going to make red beans and rice, you've got to use Kaneka. Like, what are you doing?
We'll take an order of that.
Kaneka smoked on the grill. Oh, it's a whole different experience once it's done on the grill.
I love it when you go to an event and it's like, okay, there's this to eat, there's that to eat, and then you see somebody with
He stopped us from doing a lot of eating one weekend.
Yeah, I like it when you see somebody with a smoker or a grill that's not dirty, like it's not unkempt, but you can tell it's got like the char on it from like the Mesozoic era, and you're like, that is going to be a delicious meal.
Mm-hmm.
Because that person's been doing it so long that you don't even have to worry. You're in good hands.
So let's bring Nick back here for a sec. Nick, you and Dustin, we get Ryan down. We do 24 hours in a comic book shop someday, like early November. What do you say? You guys want to do it? I think it will be insane. And possibly everyone will go nuts. But I also think it would be a lot of fun. You guys could play D&D. You could get in on that. Figure that out. We could eat a lot of phenomenal food, apparently.
We could watch Thor: Love and Thunder.
Christine would run Dread again.
Christine's going to run Dread. Tots and I will be in the parking lot playing Honey Heist.
No, Tots has to play Dread because we need Grandpa back.
We need Grandpa back?
That character in was so funny. That character was absolutely hysterical. Oh, back in my day when Grover Cleveland was president. I mean, it was hysterical. Here he goes. Back in my day. Grandpa Steve, yeah.
Seriously, though, I mean, if this is something that y'all want to put together and do, I mean, y'all just let me know if we do it like early November.
That's usually the first or second weekend of November is when they have the 24-hour comic book day, if we want to tie it into that at all.
I mean, we could tie it into that. I mean, that's totally up to y'all. I just need to know a day. And, I mean, we want to tie it into that weekend because that way I'm sure Tom Price will be there. I'm sure Jared Benall will back out somehow, so we won't have to worry about feeding him. Justin will probably stop by. I mean, so I'm good for that weekend. It's just up to Nick and Dustin.
Well, we can always do something for other charities. Sure, if we're going to do something goofy, we might as well make some benefit for somebody else, right?
And this right here,
Christine will make us all a blanket so we can sleep on the couch.
Yeah.
Mike says he'll pop in. We'll get a nice little crowd. That'll be a lot of fun.
So Nick, if y'all are down for it, talk to Dustin this weekend. I'm sure I'll make a smart aleck comment about how you won't do it during Babylon. So.
Oh Lordy. I have a question for you guys, because just to get y'all's take on this, because this week we had the first time that it's ever happened. But wait, Brandy, donate some art supplies. That's always a great idea. Good call. Good to see you, Brandy, as always. So I was thinking, this week was the first ever Diamond Comics exclusive comic that came out, which was that cover for Alien, and it was a beautiful cover.
Beautiful.
Oh, the sideways black and white?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really the first exclusive comic?
Diamond did their first exclusive.
Huh.
Like, if we wanted to shell out the money, we could get an exclusive cover. It's a lot of money. But Diamond got an exclusive cover as a distributor.
Huh.
And I thought I would see what you guys think about that.
So my number one, it's a gorgeous cover, and it's basically the Virgin variant, black and white of the was it Cherished? Is that how you say his name?
It's not the Travis Cherished cover.
Yeah,
I don't
but
remember who it was, but it wasn't Cherished.
I just pulled it up, and I mean it's the Virgin Ink variant of his cover. That's what it's got on League of Comic Geeks, the 40th anniversary Cherished Virgin Ink's cover.
Maybe it is.
But I mean, so my question is, if it's the 40th anniversary, is that literally the only reason why they did it?
No, they did it because they can make money off of selling it as a variant. And I just wonder what y'all think of the concept of the distributor getting in on the variant game.
If it was a special edition, just solely for the 40th anniversary, and it was something that they were going to send multiple copies to every comic book store so people had a chance to actually buy it at cover price, I would be all for it. But if it's limited edition, we're going to run the price up as high as we possibly can. No, you're the distributor. You need to stay out of that game. That's just my thoughts on it, though.
It seemed very weird to me. It's also weird to me that platforms like Whatnot are starting to publish their own comics. They've got a book coming out by Kyle Starks, who's been on the show, right? He was on the quiz show. He wrote the Rick and Morty comic. He's writing a book based on a video game, I think, called Alpha Betas. And it's Whatnot is publishing that comic. The platform, like the eBay-like platform that sells Whatnot, is publishing that comic. That's just very weird to me. It's like all the lines are being blurred.
So is it I'm reading about it now, PXDCD 40th anniversary?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, it is the Cherished Virgin Inks variant.
It's a beautiful cover. I don't have any qualms about that. I just think it's weird that they're getting in on it.
But honestly, I don't think this is the regular newsstand cover, but just the normal Cherished cover. I mean, that's a beautiful copy with the colors and everything.
Hey, Brandy, I got a question for you. I know you're out in Texas. Would you want to come on the show as a guest some night and just sit and shoot the breeze? We'll get some outside opinion. I know you read a lot of indie kind of stuff that could be fun to tell people about. Is that cat wanting you to play? That cat he's got opinions, and he shares them all the time. He loves when it gets to be about 9 o'clock and that's food time. He goes so loud.
He thinks, especially if I'm talking to somebody that he can't see, he thinks I'm talking to him.
Brandy, I just fake it till I make it. That's all it comes down to. I literally posted on my Facebook that I have no idea what we were going to talk about tonight. If anybody else wanted to find out, they just need to come watch. And that's the truth. I have no idea what we're going to talk about from night to night. I just show up and start talking.
I love that. That's right. Higgs is ticked about these limited edition covers. Who do they think they are? That's what it is. You don't have to know anything special about anything. You just come on and talk. You'd be awesome. Also, and I'm sure everyone would enjoy this, you could share dirt on me from when I was a kid. I know for a fact that people would be peppering you with questions. Just be nice. Lord have mercy.
We can talk about old school nerdistry.
The accent that reminds you of home. Is that not what people sound like in Texas? They don't talk about going over yonder? That's what my grandmother always used to say. She's going over yonder? And she'd say, love ye.
Aw.
And it was always hug your neck. I want to hug your neck. Like,
hug you neck? Or just
hug your neck.
Hug your neck.
Hug your neck. Like, okay. Hug away, I guess. Now, see, I thought about her, and she used to make these chocolate drop cookies. It was like chocolate, peanut butter, and oatmeal. I don't even think you cook them.
No, those are, they're really good. It's because it's just oatmeal holding it all together. It's like haystacks.
Whenever I was coming over and she knew it, she used to make those for me.
Aw.
And those just make me think of her. Love those chocolate drop cookies. They were phenomenal.
See, my grandmother in North Carolina, she shook real bad, so we did everything we could not to eat with her. Not trying to be mean or anything, but when you're eating breakfast and all you can really taste is eggshells, it kind of ruins the entire experience.
Oh no!
So yeah, we didn't do a lot of eating there.
My they're never gonna watch this. It's okay. My uncle and aunt, my aunt's mother, Mama Burtis. That's what everybody called her, but her Mama Burtis. That was what they called her. She didn't always think things through, and she was cooking. She was making fudge one time, and she didn't have her glasses on, and she didn't read the ingredients quite right. And she would serve this fudge to people, and you would be like, "Oh, this looks phenomenal," and you take a bite, and you're like. And while you're eating it, she tells you
sugar and salt.
Here she tells you about this story. She says, "Well, it's the funniest thing. I was making that fudge, and I didn't have my glasses on, and it called for marshmallow cream, and I thought it said mayonnaise."
Oh,
Mima? No.
She put mayonnaise in the fudge, and then she knew she did it, and then she kept serving it to people, like hoping she would find somebody who liked it.
Waste not, want not, I guess.
So
you're like, no, Mama Burtis, no.
So did you ever actually eat it?
We all did.
What did it taste like? I gotta know. Did it taste like brown mayonnaise? I mean,
pretty much. It didn't taste awful. It just tasted wrong. It was just wrong.
Maybe that should be the next challenge. Who could eat the most fudge mayonnaise or mayonnaise fudge? Or what did you we call it fudgenaise. How about that? Fudgenaise.
Yes, it was super oily. I mean, it looked beautiful because it didn't.
So shiny.
Sometimes it gets that dried out look to it. It didn't have that at all. It looked beautiful, but it was just wrong. It was like when you're expecting to drink, tea and it's milk, and it's just your brain says this is gonna taste like this, and you're like, nope, that was it. Nope, that's wrong. Yeah, fudge mayonnaise 2022. That's right, fudgenaise. That's gonna be delicious.
Have you guys ever seen the guy who does the vintage recipes on TikTok and YouTube and stuff?
No, but I'm here for this.
It's funny because some of them are just very clearly kind of weird Depression era stuff, and sometimes it works, sometimes they don't. But it always makes me laugh because sometimes he'll be like, "You're putting mayonnaise in a cake batter." It's like, yeah, it's moisture and it's oil. Calm down. It works. And then he's always surprised at the end. It's like, yeah, it's just you can't taste the sour cream or the mayonnaise. It's just to add moisture and stuff. Like, calm down. But yeah, mayonnaise fudge sounds disgusting.
Yeah, you did mention water pie not too recently, and I just have to say that sounds weird.
Is that like mock apple pie?
What's that? I don't know.
It's mock apple pie is instead of apples, you basically put cinnamon on Ritz crackers, cinnamon and butter, and then you bake it. And people
I don't see how you get apple out of that, but it does sound delicious.
People seem to enjoy it. I'm not sure.
I mean, I would eat that.
Let me look up. Well, you have weird and incorrect opinions on apples anyways.
I'd give it a shot anyway. Do you not like apples?
Apples and... Now, bear in mind, I had surgery on my nose when I was a kid. I had my tonsils and adenoids out, and they also cut a bilateral window in my nasal passage. So they messed with that nerve there, that nerve cluster that it translates smells and stuff. So my sense of smell is totally out of whack. But for me, if I had a potato in this hand and an apple in this hand, taking a bite out of one would be about the same as taking a bite out of the other. The apple is a little bit sweeter but that's texture-wise, all that would be about the same.
Oh, water pie is like a custard. I see.
Ooh. Yeah, buddy.
Negative.
You know, I don't know how we got started talking about all this food, but I'm here for it. And I have to say, Kalisa, you've actually picked up some of these. We've got a slew of cookbooks in lately.
Yeah.
For all kinds
Really
of stuff.
cute.
We have a cookbook for Avengers Campus at Disney's California Adventure, so you can do stuff from the Pym Test Kitchen and falafel. We've got an Avatar: The Last Airbender cookbook. We have
Comes
Disney
with an apron.
Princess cookbook, Disney Villain cookbook. We got a freaking Tomb Raider cookbook. We've got cookbooks from all over the place. So what are some cool things that you've seen in some of those? And I do have to say, I still think the D&D, the original D&D cookbook, wins the prize for best name. Because it was the Necronomicon.
That is awesome.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I've got the alien one, which the alien cookbook goes very hard with the alien theming, and some of the things are like, I'm sure that probably tastes good. That looks disgusting.
Is this like a chest burster
Yeah.
casserole?
Yeah, there's a lot of like gnarly uses of eggs. And it's like they use you hard boiled an egg and then soak it in tea so that when you crack it open it's got those little dark lines on it and stuff like that. It's well written but kind of gross.
I kind of dig it though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fun.
Like,
So what are some other good things you've picked up cookbook wise from the shop since we're talking about food?
you've asked me, so I have to think.
Anything good in your Avatar cookbook?
I didn't pick that one up.
Okay.
And I've got the aliens one. I've got the D&D one is very good. Not quite like 100-year egg. Those are a beast unto themselves. Excuse me. Someone's using the scratcher. Fat cat.
It doesn't
Very
surprise me that it's him.
Yeah.
That's the same cat who like breaks into his automatic food feeder, right? Like
Yes.
beats it up and knocks it over and just takes the food. He's like, this is a fun toy.
Yeah, he's learned how to check it like a hockey player to make the food rattle out. One of my favorite things to do is go on Disney blogs and find here's the official recipe, and then go, no, that doesn't make any sense. I don't know what they were going for, and then try and make it work.
So believe it or not, I've got it at home if you want it. Several years ago, we were at is it 1600 Park Fair?
Oh,
And
yes.
We were talking.
Very fancy.
Yeah, we were talking about the strawberry soup, and the waiter literally walked to the said, "I'll be right back." Went to the back, come out, and brought me a postcard that I still have at home with the actual restaurant's recipe for the strawberry soup on it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I had actually, if you talk to a lot of the places there, they will give you the recipes except for one place, and that is oh crap. It's the Snow White themed restaurant in Wilderness Lodge.
Oh, Artist Point.
Yeah, Artist Point. I practically begged for the recipe for their mushroom bisque. And he was like, we can't give that one out. This particular chef has been making this particular bisque for 30 years. It's his own private recipe. No one else in the world has it.
That's pretty awesome, though. I mean, that's fair.
Yes, but I mean, I do have the actual recipe for strawberry soup at home from Disney if you want it.
Yeah, sure.
She'll take that. I can answer that one for you. I think this is a good time to maybe make some announcements as far as some upcoming guests that we've got. What do you think?
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go for it. I'm letting cats in and out of the room.
Yeah. So, go to Disney in 99 days. Yeah, I see that that's followed by a frowny face. I get it. I understand, but you're going to enjoy it. Your little girl is going to think that all those things are magical and wonderful, and you just enjoy taking pictures of her. Unless it's like she comes to the store and she thinks that they're all trying to kill her and she just cries and screams the whole time, which is also possible. I don't know. Some weeks she likes me and thinks I'm cool, and some weeks it's like I'm the devil, and she is just like desperate to get away. I don't understand it.
Think of
But
it
anyway,
like this. In 99 days, you get to ride Haunted Mansion. It's just amazing.
Christine's going in November. This is exciting, folks. All right, so on September 22nd, so that's what, 2 weeks from today? September 22nd, on this show, through some miracle, artist Bart Sears is going to be coming on the show as our guest. Bart freaking Sears. That is awesome. Back in the day when Wizard Magazine first launched, he did several covers for them that everybody was like, who did these covers? And it was a big mystery because he didn't sign them. But Bart Sears did those covers. He did Exo Man of War back in the day for Valiant. He did cross-gen books. He did The Path. He did their big kind of Greek mythology themed book too, the first. But The Path was amazing. He's been doing comics for heavy metal the past couple of years. His own, like, creator-owned projects he's been doing under their imprint. The guy is awesome, and he is going to be coming on here as our guest on September 22nd.
Nope.
And I'm very pumped about that. It's so exciting. Next week, the baddest man in showbiz is going to be our guest. He's going to be talking about Spider-Man, and that's going to be awesome. So we got Nick Ellis from Two Bros Comics coming. But we got one lined up on October 6th.
Ooh.
I feel like maybe since we've got the audience we've got, and we've got these people, we should probably tell them who it is. What do you think?
So if everything works out, the people that are on tonight is definitely going to want to be on October 6th. Kalisa, you will definitely want to be on for October 6th.
Christine.
There's going to be a pony.
The reason why is, and if y'all do not know who I'm talking about, I highly suggest you go to YouTube and follow her channel. But if everything works out on October 6th, we will have AJ Wolf from the Disney Food Blog on here.
Ooh.
And I am like,
oh, wait, this is AJ lady who's always on the video? Yo!
yeah.
Plastic
You have no idea how excited I'm literally emailing back and forth with her, and then I'm emailing Josh on the side going, oh my God, OMG, OMG, OMG. I mean, I was all tore up.
Yeah, because
So
he's
I'm
like,
excited for that one.
he was just trying to get her to send somebody to come over here, and she's like, I'll be there, I'll do it. And we're like, really? That's awesome.
Christine, I thought you got taken over by a bot. I almost blocked you.
I don't know what that is she posted, but yeah.
It's just a keyboard. She just, I don't know, because she was excited.
Oh, got it. That starting with an @ made me think it was somebody's Twitter handle or something.
Same. That's so exciting. She's rad.
She is cool,
Yeah.
but that's
Oh,
October 6th.
You two are going to be able to, Alan, on a scale of like 1 to 10, how much of a Disney park specifically person are you?
I would say probably a good 7 or 8.
Oh, okay, cool.
Absolutely. We don't get to go all the time. With kids and family, with family and everything, it does get a little expensive. But honestly, when it comes to the parks, and I know this is going to sound funny coming from, a man of so many years, I absolutely love like Peter Pan's Flight and Haunted Mansion and the rides and everything. And even if we don't ride anything, I mean, I just enjoy the atmosphere, just walking around looking at everything.
So I pitched it to a couple people at Haven. I'll pitch it to you too. This is my idea. It'll never happen because it's implausible. But my dream experience, Magic Kingdom, People Mover, you get like an armband or like they put a little flag on your People Mover.
I want this so bad. This is the
So
coolest
you don't
idea ever.
You don't have to leave it. You can just ride it forever. That in and of itself is a day. Just riding the People Mover forever. But every however manyth, we'll just say like every 10th loop, they slap a little like lock-in cafeteria tray, and it's like, oh, it's a flight of Dole Whips. It's a flight of little pretzel bits or hot dogs, and you just get to eat food on the People Mover all day. And
I just
You
picture
know what? I
like
thoroughly
a
support
movable
that.
feast, right? Or one of those progressive dinners where at this stop they throw some Italian food on there, and at this stop they throw a little bit of French food, and as you go around, they. But I picture all kind of things. I love the idea of the drive-through tray that mounts on the side of the vehicle.
Yeah.
That they're like, boom.
Yeah, Christine, I am not operating in reality, but I just love the idea of like every few things, like a little amuse-bouche, you know.
I'm so excited by that idea. It's killing me. I love it.
So I have more insightful questions for both of you.
Shoot.
Let's do it.
Favorite Disney ride that still exists that you could go to the parks today? Any park.
Haunted Mansion.
Haunted Mansion. He's cataloging.
Yes, I am.
Follow your heart.
Oh, now that's hard.
Well, now look.
What's the first one that floats up?
Well, Haunted Mansion was the first one that came to mind, but Jungle Cruise was right behind it. And then the Kilimanjaro Safaris at Animal Kingdom was right behind that.
Okay. Now, favorite ride that no longer exists. I know Josh's.
Do you?
I think so.
Honestly, it's not a ride, but my favorite thing that I missed that no longer exists was the actual Streets of America and the Christmas lights.
The
It
Osborne
was a ride, it was
family
more of an
spectacle of
experience.
moving lights. Yeah.
The correct answer is the carrot cake cookie sandwich. But Josh,
At the
I would
Ryder
say,
stop there in Hollywood Studios, yes.
I'm going to guess that yours is the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
That would be second.
Oh, okay. Let us ponder what would be Josh's favorite Disney ride that doesn't exist anymore. It's in Orlando, right?
Christine nailed it. Yeah.
Oh, Horizons.
Horizons was fantastic. Horizons was like the sequel to Carousel of Progress. And so you're going on this vehicle, you're in the future, you're going on this vehicle, and at one point you can decide between four different choices what your ending of the ride will be. So you can go through underwater or across a desert or through space or whatever. You could make the decision on how your ride was going to change. And it was just an amazing ride. Really, really loved it.
Cool.
So
Yeah.
there's only one ride, and that's at Magic Kingdom that I was just kind of, okay, whatever, when I rode it. And that was Goofy's Barnstormer.
Oh, yeah.
And the only reason is it's like we waited, Lily was, I think, 5. We had to ride it. We waited in line for almost an hour because it was one of the busiest nights that they had.
And it's a minute and a half long roller coaster.
We sit down, and the roller coaster was like, and we're done. You could have made this another 30 seconds longer. Come on.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be a kid's first roller coaster kind of experience. So they made it so it's short enough that if they are freaked out, you can get them off of there pretty quick.
Yep. Now,
it's like a practice roller coaster, right?
I will say I made a mistake with one of my nephews one time. The very first ride we ever took him on was Pirates of the Caribbean. I didn't think about that it might be scary to a 3-year-old in the cave sequence there at the beginning, and then there's the big drop. He was having nothing doing after that.
When I was about the same age, and we went to Disney, I screamed the entire way through Haunted Mansion because the first room scared me so much.
The stretching room or the actual ride-through room?
The stretching room is what scared me, and then I refused to give any of the rest a chance, and I just hid behind my mom for the whole thing.
How old were you?
Real little,
pizza.
like pre-K.
We were talking about food earlier. What'd you get on this pizza, Brandy? I bet it's good stuff. Is there pineapple? I need to know. Heck yeah, Goofy's ride. That's a great one.
Mm-hmm. It's just not long enough. But I mean, then again, like Josh said, it's a kid thing.
We were at the not so scary Halloween party one time, and my sister and my brother-in-law met us there, and they brought their son, who was a tiny little squirt at the time, And so we were like, well, let's ride Haunted Mansion. And he got on Haunted Mansion, and he's sitting between me and Leslie. He's this tiny little guy. And he's holding on to the bar, and he's just white knuckling it, right? I mean, he is terrified. And so we started looking, and we said, I tell you what, first of all, we started with this whole business of, look at how dirty it is in here. Look at that dust everywhere. Look at those spider webs. Somebody needs to clean this place up. And he's like, it's filthy in here. And then Leslie told him kind of the same thing that Christine's dad told her. Said, if something scares you, you just say boo right back to it, and you scare it back. And so when you got to the graveyard and the heads are popping up from behind tombstones, he would go, boo! But when we got off the ride, his mom and dad were like, how did he do? Because they're like, we should have not taken him on this ride. This was a terrible idea. And he said, Mom, it was so dirty in there. They need to clean that place up. It was great. He handled it like a champ after that. But that business with telling something that scares you boo was really funny, because right after that, we went over to Splash Mountain, and we put my brother-in-law and my sister on Splash Mountain, and we just watched him in the little playground area they have under there. And so he's playing there. Well, it's the not-so-scary Halloween party, so people are dressed up, and this lady was dressed as a witch, and she kind of leaned down. She's like, well, aren't you cute? He went, boo! In her face, and then he ran and hid behind the slide.
You know, we have never been able to ride Splash Mountain.
Really?
Really?
Every time
it's a
we
phenomenal ride.
It was shut down one time for refurbishment, and then we went in January. It's shut down period in January. All the water rides are, but the times before that, it was like a 2.5 hour wait. It was like kids are not going to allow me to stand here for 2.5 hours to wait. That's just not going to happen.
Well, if you're going before they change it over to the Princess and the Frog, you definitely need to ride it if you can in its current incarnation, because it's a really great ride. It really is.
We have an idea of when we might be going back. I'm just not at liberty to say, because I don't know if my youngins are watching. So I'm hoping to be able to do it before they do the changeover. But I don't know when, because they still haven't said when they're going to do that changeover, have they?
They said to expect the new one to open up in early 2024, so it's going to close late 2023, I think, or midway through 2023. I will say, if for anybody who's like an old school Disney World person and you remember the ride vehicles that used to be in Space Mountain, were the same as the ride vehicles they used to have at Disneyland on the Matterhorn. It was 2 cars, and there was just a long bench in the car, in each car, and you would sit there, and then whoever else sat there would kind of sit between your legs and their back to you, and you're just on this bench, right? Well, my mom gets in here, and my sister Amber, when she was a tiny little thing, I mean, she was 3 or 4, they put her in here, and there's just one seatbelt that goes over the 2 of you. Well, Amber, like at some point in the ride, slips out and is underneath the seatbelt, curled up in the front of the floor of the ride vehicle, just like screaming in terror. And my mom, who is holding her in with her feet, is laughing her butt off because she thought that was hilarious.
Christine, the animatronics at Disney that have definitely seen blood are the Country Bears. They've seen it all.
Very funny, Nick. Very funny. Ain't no butterbeer at Disney. You have to go to Universal for butterbeer. At Disney, you can get LeFou's brew over at Gaston's Tavern, which is spectacular. Totally dig that.
But you know what, Nick? When you go, even if you don't get LeFou's brew, go back there and get one of those cinnamon rolls at Gaston's Tavern.
It's as big as your head.
And you can ask for extra icing or extra frosting, and you will definitely get it.
My mom got the recipe for their ginormous cinnamon rolls, and I forget what was going on. Like a year ago or so, my mom just brought to my house one mega cinnamon roll. It was huge. I mean, it was this big. It was massive.
I'm not going back till they reinstate the tater tots.
Till they do what?
They reinstate the tater tots with like roast beef or pulled pork over them, or the mac and cheese.
The mac and cheese. You're talking the Friar's Nook with that mac and cheese. Yeah, that was delicious. I do miss that. I will say tater tots have taken over a lot of things at Disney World right now. Over at Hollywood Studios in the Woody's Roundup Toy Story section, they call them tachos. It's tater tots instead of nacho chips, but it's tachos with chili and cheese and all manner of stuff. And the tater tot barrels are starting to show up on the menus in a lot of places now.
I guess it makes sense because they're kind of easy to heat, and then really like you can do anything with them.
I would argue that, except I don't think I can.
I don't think
I can.
Oh, Nick, so here's a good one. And this restaurant, from what I've seen, especially on like Disney Food Blog, it seems like this restaurant's a little controversial. Some people love it, some people hate it. But it's the Sci-Fi Drive-In at Hollywood Studios. Go get the backyard barbecue burger. You will thank me. That thing is friggin' amazing.
They've made a lot of changes to the menu at Sci-Fi Drive-In over the years. It's been a long time since I've been there. Because used to, it was like the atmosphere was fun, but the food was just, it was okay. It wasn't worth the price you were paying for it at all.
Yeah, but you're definitely paying for the atmosphere there.
It has changed pretty significantly over the years. And every time I look at it, I think, that looks like something I want to go do.
The backyard burger is great and I know this is going to sound really weird, but in Magic Kingdom, the fish and chips at Harbor House.
Yep.
I friggin' love those things.
Columbia Harbor House.
Yep. Yeah, get the quick service. That's all you need.
Yep, I agree. The Columbia Harbor House fish and chips is excellent.
I mean, we've had breakfast in Cinderella's Castle before. It's one of those one and done for me.
You're paying for the castle. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a nice experience. The kids loved it and everything. See you, Tots.
Hey, have fun at Whistle Stop, man. Knock them dead. I mean, not literally dead. Don't food poison anyone. But hope you do well. I hope you have a great time.
When I was in 6th grade, I got to eat in Cinderella's Castle, and we had my cousin Nick, who was very young at the time, and he got really upset that we were going to cut up the Mickey Mouse shaped butter, and he wouldn't let us cut him up. So we had to pass the butter under the table where he couldn't see us.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really sweet.
We couldn't even really do the castle back when it was still King Stephen's banquet hall in the early 80s. And I'll never forget, we had a dessert there, which I was a kid, and I read this quite literally, and I was like, that's the grossest thing I think I've ever heard. And it turned out it was one of my favorite things. It was delicious, and I've never been able to find anywhere that does it since. And it was grasshopper pie.
Oh.
It sounds hideous, but it's really like mint chocolate chip. Yeah. But
you know they make grasshopper cookies and stuff, right?
No.
Yeah, Keebler makes a grasshopper cookie. It's a Thin Mint dupe.
I love how tickled he is by this.
That way you said no was like a little bit of like, tell me more, disappointment and excitement all in the same tone. No.
That's exactly what it was. So you're dead on. Let's see this. He proposed this guy at the castle under the fireworks. I did not know that about you, Nick. That's amazing.
Hey, has anybody even noticed that I changed Kalisa's name like an hour ago?
Oh, I did.
She did that.
No, I did, but I thought it was cute, so I like it.
No, I just thought she did that.
I didn't know I could change names, and I just happened to click. I actually clicked on it by accident, and I was like, ooh.
I have the power.
Yeah, it's fun. I like doing it when I'm just modding. So there's something to keep you busy on other shows, too.
Indeed. But
yeah, Keebler
grasshopper pie was amazing, and I have wanted it for 40 years.
Yeah, that's totally a thing.
I know somebody who's a really good cook. I bet she could make something like that.
Yeah, we'll have to ask her.
This light bulb that just boo, over my head.
Nick, so here's going to be my last food thing for the night. As far as Disney's concerned, if you get a chance, the prime rib at Artist Point in Wilderness Lodge is amazing. But you're going to be paying prime rib prices. I mean, it's a little expensive, but it's totally worth it. The entire family will love it.
So if you're going to do a splash dinner at anywhere, go Tiffin's.
Oh man, Tiffin's is so good.
It's in the animal kingdom, and it's nice because I don't want to say it's one of the more it's an upscale restaurant, but it's not. But like you can walk in from the park, so it's like not intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's welcoming, but you're going to get a really, really, really nice meal. Yeah. Disney is expensive.
I will say, last time we went to Tiffin's, they welcomed us back. They knew we had been before, and they gave us a little art print that looks like it was like it. Because inside the theming of Tiffin's is stuff that the Imagineers all brought back from their research and stuff for building Animal Kingdom, and it's a lot of the art is their drawing and everything, drawings and sketches. And they gave us an art print of an Imagineer sketch.
Huh. That's really nice.
Take home with us. That was super cool. And
so Nick, I've actually seen people that have done that before and they've done live streams and everything. And there's something about it that just doesn't look right. It's like the quality is decent, is really good straight on, but when you start going around the corners and everything, it's like it just starts distorting everything. It looks really weird. I would try to find some streams on YouTube of people that have actually done that at like Disney and Universal to see if maybe you can figure out something that they're not doing right, instead of just like, hey, I'm gonna go try this and then getting mad because it looks funky to you.
Well, it's no Circle Vision, I can tell you that. No O Canada film.
Oh, yeah. I wish there were seats there.
Right? But they didn't want seats because you're supposed to look all around, and you can't do that if you're sitting down.
Give me a swivelly chair.
Swivel. How hard is that?
Yeah. Let a body sit, for God's sake.
So it's like Josh froze up on us?
Nope.
Oh, there he is. This has been our longest show. Good luck.
Speaking of food, I'm about to have to bail because Cat's going to start nibbling my ankles.
Yep. Well, we should probably go ahead and end there. But yes, in 2 weeks, on September 22nd, artist Bart Sears is going to be on the show, which I'm super pumped about. And on October 6th, everything should work out. If it does, we will have AJ on from Disney Food Blog, which is going to be awesome. So
pick your best Mickey hats, Mickey ears to wear.
And next week we're going to have Nick on talking through all 900 issues of Spider-Man.
I want to see the book report.
Yeah, his book report is crazy long.
And guys, I'm still harassing Tom King, Tom Taylor, Chip Zdarsky, Jim Lee, and Todd McFarlane. We'll get them one day.
That's right. All right. Well, thanks, everybody. Y'all have a great night. Stay out of trouble best you can. And we'll see what we can figure out about that 24 hours in a comic shop nonsense that we were discussing earlier.
Let's do it.
Yes, indeed. Y'all have a great night. It's all going to be cool. I can't help it because I so totally dig it. So...